What's up, guys? My name is Khan, and we're back today with more Scrap Mechanics Survival, and today we're finally going to build a new vehicle. This piston-powered vehicle is great. It's a fantastic work truck. It's great for mining. It's been doing really well for collecting resources for me. However, I think it's time we have an exploration vehicle, something that goes a little bit faster, runs on an actual gas engine, and can get us across the map a lot quicker. When I'm going out and collecting things like burnt trees, anything that requires me to go a bunch of distance, this car is just way too slow. So we're gonna build a car today, and I actually looked at one of my old creative mode designs to try and pull some inspiration, I guess, if you want to call it that. There's a buggy I had made a long time ago that uses an adjustable double wishbone suspension setup, which means we've got a really cool looking suspension setup that also lets us kind of adjust it to be either flat or caved up so we can get extra ride height. And I think this is going to be really the thing to build. So I'm not exactly sure if I remember perfectly how to build this. We're of course starving to death. At the beginning of every episode, we just starve to death. It's wonderful. So we're going to use concrete just for the base, and then everything else is going to be done with like metal 1 for reinforcements or something. I'm not sure yet, but we're just going to make a basic frame first, and hopefully I can get this right. So we do need a couple pistons. They do the adjustment portion, and then we need a ton of pipe pieces. And again, hopefully I remember how to actually set this all up. So we put our 2 pistons here underneath this, and those are the actual like adjustment guys, if you want to call it. They give you the suspension adjustment, and it's only 1 block up and down. That's all they do, but that's all they need to do. And then they loop up and go to our actual suspension pieces, which I think go up here. This is a really difficult thing to remember, but the suspension itself is right here, flush with the body, and then the suspension comes back there, and I think we leave that for now. We're just gonna starve to death. Now, I have been growing food. I know we spent a while setting up the farm, so I have been growing food, so we will eventually stop starving to death. However, in this episode, I'm gonna grab a bunch of food before we go exploring so we don't starve to death on the road. Now, we're gonna extend this down 1 block and set up the double wishbone portion of things, which is just a bunch more pipe pieces that we don't have. Oh my goodness, we're probably gonna run out of pipe pieces, but it'll be a pretty easy setup to duplicate once you've got it working on one side. So there we go. And then of course, that goes to some straight pieces that come out, and then they connect to the wishbone part that doubles down, and then we connect to the suspension. So this goes like this, just like that, perfect. We need a bajillion more bearings and more curved pipe pieces. Okay, so that setup looks like that. We have more pipe pieces that are curved. We do not. We need more curved pipe pieces. Okay, let's build a bajillion more of those. All right, I think we've got the parts now to finish these 2 sides off. It's days like these when I wish I had the ability to just spawn in my creative stuff if I had the parts for it, right? Like if I could open my lift up and pull up a creative design and it's like you need all these parts to do it, that would be awesome. But I think this is what we do now. And then this curves down like so. This curves down like so. And it hits this up. Yeah, there we go. Now we're cooking with bacon. Okay, and then bearing. And I know this looks super complicated, but it's really not that bad, I don't think. All right, that's our setup, and our wheels attached to this on that outside piece. And now this whole suspension will be able to move up and down with those suspension pieces inside, and it'll just look really cool. So let's put some wheels on it. We need more curved pieces, and we just go out, and then more bearings, because these are our front wheels. The back wheels will connect the same way. We'll just get rid of these bearings so they don't have any steering capability, or I guess we could put 4-wheel steering if we wanted to. And then bearing, wheel, and I know this looks excessive, but I believe it should work. Now we're just gonna put a seat on it, just so that we can keep those wheels stiff and straight. And steering goes there, and steering goes to that one. And of course, we're gonna have to reverse the steering probably. And now this should be, look at that. It's a custom suspension setup. So these suspension pieces are actually working. If we stiffen them up, you can tell, right? And we can loosen them and soften them. But here's the catch. So let's say we've got soft suspension. Those 2 pistons there give us adjustable ride height. So now we can have our pistons hooked into this switch, and we have them both just set to a range of 1. It's not a big deal. And now if we press the switch, it pushes the suspension down, and you can see that gives us a higher ride height. So there we go. So now this entire system drives has normal super soft suspension like this. You can press that and boom, you've got a higher suspension. And of course, we'll stiffen it once we put more weight on the vehicle. But there we go. And now we just have to duplicate the whole thing on the back and we'll have this wicked double wishbone suspension. Now, the glitchless portion of it is really, really kind of interesting. So if you notice, the suspension creates a loop, and normally suspension in a loop in Scrap Mechanic gives you a suspension glitch. But because we've got all these extra bearings here, these 3 extra bearings, it actually negates the suspension glitch. And there's actually a guy named Lord Payne who had made a suspension setup a long time ago to get rid of the suspension glitch. And this sort of double bearing system is similar to what he used, but I think his was probably better looking, to be perfectly honest. But either way, it's a pretty good setup, and now we're just gonna duplicate the whole thing on the back. Now, unfortunately, I originally wanted to make a truck with a truck bed, and now I'm realizing because of how tall this section in the front is, it doesn't really work too well for a truck. It's kind of better for like a buggy because you need all this extra height. So let's just duplicate this whole thing on the back, and then we should be good to go and test it out at least without any weight on it. And then we'll add some weight and motors and all that stuff, and it'll be great. All right, I've gone ahead and duplicated the back mechanism. Let's actually slap an engine on this thing. We'll put the engine right up front. Not that it really matters too much. We're gonna need to eventually upgrade this engine and put, actually, hold on. We can only do 2 connections on this engine, right? It's max 2. Yeah, okay, let's upgrade this right away. Go to level 2. Can I do more connections now? 4 connections? Yes, perfect. All right, we'll see how good this is. We'll probably end up upgrading it a few more levels anyway, maybe even making this one a max level at some point. But there we go. So we've got our engine on it. We'll move this seat eventually, and we're gonna have to stiffen up the suspension. You notice it's kind of sagging a little bit with all the extra weight, so we'll stiffen it up by 1. And it still has the full adjustment on the ride height, regardless of how stiff it is. So there we go. And now if we press 1, it pushes down, and look at that. It gives us that extra ride height. Not a crazy amount, but just enough. And let's see what this does. So let's put some gas in this thing. All right, here we go. And let's go. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, it's already too powerful. But there we go. Holy cow, gas engines are fast. I did not realize how fast they are. Oh my goodness. This is only level 2. Are you serious? Oh yeah, this is great. And then look, we can increase our ride height, and now we're just flying. Oh my goodness, what the heck? We got here in like no time at all. I'm so used to how fast a piston engine is that this thing is just ridiculous now. That's so cool though. Oh, I love it. It's gonna be such a great buggy. So anyway, now let's just do some aesthetic stuff. So I'm gonna put still a little bit of a trunk bed on the back. Obviously that big pillar that holds up the adjustable suspension mechanism, that's kind of in the way, which is a little unfortunate. But I guess this vehicle is mostly going to be used for exploration and not so much for transporting. I think when we get to the point where we want to do hardcore fruit crate transporting, I think I'm going to build a big rig, because I feel like having a truck and trailer would just make so much more sense. And like, get wrecked, Farmbot. Did you really not? Okay, whatever. But yeah, a truck and trailer I think makes more sense, because from what I've seen, the fruit crates are huge. But either way, I do want to have an exploration vehicle that we can just use to drive around the map and maybe pick up 1 or 2 things. So let's just do some body work to this now, and let's see what happens. All right, so I've laid out a pretty basic shape here for a metal brick of a vehicle. It's not anything too fancy, but I mean, we also don't have any of the cool blocks anymore. We used to have wedge blocks that allowed you to make kind of sloped corners, and now the only thing that's close to that is an I-beam corner. And there's really no other, wedge blocks. But we're going to put some lights on it regardless. And, of course, a sick grill, because, every car needs a sick grill, right? So, boom, look at that, sick grill. Get some lights on this bad boy. Some front lights like that. Perfect. We're going to need some paint. I think we have enough paint to do the lights, which is good, because that's basically the only thing I want to paint. And, actually, I want to move these lights up more. But then, I'd like to cover them with a wedge block. Like, I'd love to put a line of wedges up along there, but anyway. All right, that looks okay. Now let's grab some paint. I think we got some paint somewhere, right? 5 paint left. Okay, so that's just enough. And we'll paint the lights. There we go, set their range to max. And then I also want to have a top bar of lights as well that goes over the seat, just because, why not? It'll look all right, I think. Here we go, perfect. I hope we can find wedge pieces. There are wedge pieces in creative, and I really hope they exist in survival too, because if they don't, that kind of sucks. You just have all these blocky vehicles. Of course, we can't check it because we're starving to death again. All right, well, while we're starving, we can adjust the suspension. So we'll just stiffen it up a little bit. I don't know what it needs to actually be at. Let's try 3 for now. That's not enough to lift it. It might need to be at max, actually. Yeah, I think it needs to be at max. We want it to be pretty much lifting the whole vehicle as is. There we go. That looks pretty good. And then when we activate the extra lift kit button, it'll do everything a little bit further up. All right, perfect. I really, really like that. I think we probably should put the lights on the front bar, but either way, I think that looks, you know, as decent as it's gonna look anyway. And we have room in here to fit something. I don't know what yet. I found one of those dwarf guys, so that's where we're gonna head right now, actually, because I want to try and see if we can load the single dwarf guy into this. And that's probably what this vehicle will be used for. Not so much for trading food, but just for loading up the dwarf guys in the cages. Don't worry if you don't know what I'm talking about. We're gonna get there. I found it actually in the middle of like a burned forest area when I was chopping trees down. So the only last thing I want to do, which I realized I forgot, is you know, put the wide body kit on it. It has to have the wide body kit. And we're not gonna bring our bed because who cares? We're gonna live like ballers and live on the edge of, you know, riskiness. And here we go. So look at that. Rev it up. Boom. Done. Doesn't even care. Perfect. Oh, we need gas. We need lots of gas. Yeah, we only have a little bit of gas. Let's go grab all the gas we have and throw it in that fuel tank, and then we should be good to go. Look at that. We might actually need to upgrade the suspension too. It's at its limit, and it's not quite stiff enough in the front. It needs to be a little bit stiffer. So let's actually do that as well. Possibly upgrade the engine at the same time. So there we go. Full gas tank. How much does this cost? 1? Okay, that's easy enough. Yeah, see, now we can go really, really stiff on the front, which is good. I really need to paint this too. I think next episode, I'm going to focus on getting a lot of paint. You can see I used all the paint to paint up this, and it looks wonderful, but we need more paint. So let's just grab a little bit of each. Let's grab more tomatoes and carrots. I guess we need to grow more beets at some point. Can I not grab that? There we go. All right, let's go. So the trader is right over here in behind this packing station that we're coming up to. But I found a single dwarf dude, and I know the trader takes the dwarf dude. So let's see if we can load the dwarf dude into this and then take him to the trader. Now, we're basically just going to drive down this road for a bit to a charred forest, because that's where I found it. This engine might be too much. We might actually need to slow it down. That's insane. Like, how heavy does your vehicle have to be where that engine becomes useful? The one thing I find funny about the way this vehicle looks is, number one, it's way too shiny. Like, it's this crazy silver metal color, and I definitely want to change that so it's not just silver metal. But number two, it's got a very stubby nose. So, like, the front wheels are almost right up on the nose. I probably should have extended the nose out and put the engine and fuel tank in front of the wheels to make it look more like a truck, which maybe we can change at some point in time. I really just want to find more, like, curved blocks that would make better rounded edges. I know in creative, oh, hello. We'll just take this stuff. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Thank you. But yeah, I know in creative, there's a lot of modded parts, and obviously that helps. But even in, like, the regular creative, there's wedge parts, which you just don't have here. So I don't know why we don't have the wedge parts, because they definitely help. Is that one suspension weaker? Why is it sagging to the one side? Is that just torque? Look at it. Look at that torque twist. Well, I don't know. I put it on the lift, took it off the lift, and now it's not sagging in that corner anymore. So I don't know what that was. That's a weird thing. All right. Now here, there's a jump, and I think we're gonna have enough speed to actually jump up it. So let's just do it. Let's go. Oh God, too fast. Yeah, no, that didn't work. Oh my goodness. Okay. I think upgrading the engine is still important because you get better efficiency, so it doesn't consume as much gasoline, but it still requires a ton more component kits, which I just don't have. And obviously, it does a lot better at this slower speed. Oh goodness. There we go. We're good. I love this. Oh, we're starving again. That's right. And we can't actually starve to death here. We need to eat. I'm hoping this dwarf fits in the back of this vehicle. I honestly, ooh, more chests. Hello. Let's just grab these. They're always important. Get more component kits. Excellent. All right, can we fit through this? I think we can. Nice. Okay, here is one of the charred forests on the right. I think this is the one where I found the dude. You'll probably notice a lot of these trees are missing. Like, a lot of them. And let's go to off-road mode, because why not? But The trees are kind of missing because I sort of mined out a lot of this to get level 3 metal. And there's still more to mine out in this one, but I've mined out like 3 of these zones completely already. And I think this one had a dude in it. I'm not sure. Can we even get through there? I know with my vehicle the metal isn't flammable, but I think the tires are. So let's actually just check that real quick. Is the tire flammable? No. Oh, tire's not flammable. Okay, so then we should be fine to just drive through this. Bearings aren't flammable either. No. And metal pipes, there's no way those metal pipes or the metal or concrete is flammable. Okay, so we can actually probably just drive right through all this and not care. Let's just drop up the ride height a bit. And, of course, famous last words. Watch, we'll just burn to death. No, we're good. Okay. Now, where the heck is this dude? There was definitely a dwarf in here, I hope. Maybe it was a different chart zone, but I definitely found a dude in here. Where the heck is he? Down here. There we go. Look at that. All right. I'm here to rescue you, sir. So there's dwarfs in cages. And I guess they're farmers in cages. And you can hit them, and they roll like a ball. But I need to get you up in that car, dude. You need to get up. Can I not hit you? I can't hit you up. So we need a ramp. Oh, no, you're just flat up stuck. Okay. Oh, I'm flat up stuck too. Okay, this is wonderful. How are we gonna do this? This is like the worst. Can you imagine you're trying to get rescued in a cage and some guy's just hitting you with a hammer? Okay, you know what? This is actually the solution. We gotta just move you out of the way. We gotta build a platform on the lift first. And we'll just hit you up onto this platform and then lift it up onto the rest of the vehicle. Come on. Come on. There. Oh, okay. Or just almost yeet him right into it. I definitely need to make, I think, a loading mechanism for this. Maybe put some pistons on the back of this vehicle so it can pick up dwarves. Yeah, you okay, dude? All right. Over. No. No, come on back. Come on. We'll get this. We'll get this eventually. All right. That should work good enough as a loading ramp, I think. But I can't hit the dude. It's like if he's too close to your vehicle, you can't hit him, which is weird. Maybe I can just back this up and push him out of the way a little bit. There we go. All right. Let's try this again. Straight at the ramp. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. This is ridiculous. Let's try it again. Straight at the ramp. There we go. Look at that. Perfect. Right in. Right in. Okay. And now we'll just seal you in with some blocks. Excellent. Let's delete this whole ramp. Definitely gonna have to make an automatic system for loading these guys up. I feel like this is gonna be the vehicle to do it. Just put a bed on this vehicle as well and have it as a farmer loading slash, you know, driving around vehicle, exploring with it, as well as, you know, loading up these farmers. But there we go. We're just gonna put like a frame over top of this. It's not exactly an elegant solution, but I think this should hold him in no problem and make sure that he doesn't go anywhere, especially if we accidentally like flip the vehicle or something. That would be a terrible thing to happen. All right, perfect. There we go. Now we'll just bring him all the way back to the trader and see what the trader does with this dwarf dude. I love this vehicle, man. It's got, the suspension is so clean. Like, it's got such good suspension travel. And it's just got the ability to just basically drive over anything, which just makes it fantastic. It definitely needs some more aesthetic work, but I need to find more aesthetic parts. I think this is the way up the road we gotta go, yeah. But yeah, I definitely want to make this thing load farmers a little bit better rather than just having to hit them with a hammer. Maybe we could put like a crane arm on the back, because we've got that back section that's not really used for anything. So we could probably put some sort of a piston crane arm that can just pick up the dwarf and put him in and then hold him in the position on the front. I think this is going to be the exploration dwarf vehicle though. I don't think it's going to be useful for fruit crates. I know the fruit crates are large. I don't know how large, but maybe next episode we'll work on building a big rig or something and actually transporting the fruit crates with a big rig. I really want to have a transport truck with a trailer because I feel like that would be just really cool to have, especially with all these roads that exist. And, you know, the only thing that I can think of using it for is just trading fruit, because you end up with all these fruit crates and you have to transport them somehow. So maybe a big flatbed that can just transport the fruit crates. But either way, I think this is a good vehicle for what it is, and it drives so smooth. I mean, it's a little squishy on the suspension, but of course, you know, oh, we're running in the high mode. We can put it down. There we go. Now we're back in low mode. All right, we're gonna take this jump slowly with the dwarf guy. Why not? Here we go. Let's do it. Yes, it worked. Awesome. Yeah, this vehicle's great. I love it. And the adjustable suspension, of course, you just press a button and it just goes up. And look at that. Gives you that extra ride height. Press a button, it drops back down. It's not a lot. You can, of course, adjust it a little bit. You can move the suspension out of the way so that you could have a higher adjustment if you really wanted to, and have that piston deploy with a total of 2 blocks. You can see right now it deploys 1 and then there's no room for it to go. But we could do something really simple. For example, I'll show you guys actually. Let's do this so we can double up the ride extension. Oh, I forgot I had the... we're gonna have to reload them up. Okay, well, let's double up the ride height first because we're already here. In order to do that, we just have to basically delete this section of blocks here, which means we have to extend this out. So we go like this on this extension, like that, and then delete, delete, and extend this out like that. There we go. And then again here, delete, and then extend that back. And now this ride height can adjust by 2 blocks. So now we could take all our pistons and set them to have a range of 2, and they could do a much more aggressive ride height extension, which would just make you go from a really low height to an extremely tall one. So here we go. 2. What are you doing? You freaking out? You having a good time? Okay. And now if we try this out, 2, boom, look at the ride height drop. So we can go from low to super high now, and now we've just got ridiculous ground clearance that we don't even need. So normally I only go with 1, but again, this suspension setup, look at that, it's super, super awesome. All right, let's try this again. Hit him up. Yes, perfect. All right, and then we'll just seal him back in again. And this time we'll bring him to the trader without actually, you know, putting our vehicle on the lift. All right, perfect. The worst cage known to man, but there we go. And now look at this adjustment. This is awesome. Now we've got like real off-roading capabilities. If you just need to, I don't know, clear rock, like you're never gonna bottom this vehicle out. I mean, maybe on a cliff edge, but we should be able to even just drive off this. And look at that, just doesn't care. It's got such huge suspension travel now. This is just awesome. And the pistons themselves, they'll actually kind of cushion stuff a little bit too. Because they're super weak, the pistons can have a little bit of flex as well. So the whole suspension, if it pushes too hard, it could push back on the piston even and give you even more suspension travel. But where the heck? Okay, we go this way. We just kind of cut across the road. It's fine. And the trader should be up back at the packing station. But this is great. Now we've got a vehicle that, you know, we can use it in road mode, which is just like this, super low. And then we can just raise it up, go off-road. And just, you know, look at these little bumps. Doesn't even care. All right, we should be coming up to the packing station soon. And there it is, which means when we hit the packing station, we just got to do a hard right and go off-road again. So let's engage off-road mode. Of course, if you are, you know, raising your suspension up, your center of gravity kind of goes up as well. So you got to make sure you don't tip yourself over. But I mean, look at this. Look at this compared to the farm bot. Just run over the farm bot. Don't even care. Oh, that's so good. It's so tall, it just butchers them. Look at that, right to the trader. Drop it down again. Oh, amazing. I definitely want to adjust the look of this vehicle. I think it looks kind of bad, to say the least. It's very blocky, but I really don't know what parts we can use to do that. But either way, we're going to adjust this at some point and just make it a whole lot better. So let's unload this guy and see what the trader actually does. I don't think we can actually trade anything for just a single dwarf. I think we actually need to bring in some fruit crates as well. But either way, we'll just unload this guy and see if the trader gives us any deals. There we go. Yeah, stay in the thing. Perfect. All right, press the button. Excellent. Took your farmer friend. And what are you going to give me for your farmer friend? Anything? What can I buy for it? I need... Oh my god, I need oranges, blueberries, and a farmer for the spud gun. Okay, so at least you got the farmer for that. Need tomatoes, garment boxes, Gatling gun. Oh, he basically just wants farmers for everything. There isn't a single thing he doesn't want farmers for. All right, so I'm gonna need a bunch of farmers, I guess, and a bunch of fruit. So next episode, I think we'll trade some fruit, tomatoes for orange seeds. I think we'll be able to do that. Radishes for blueberry seeds, banana seeds for carrots. Yeah, we have all those, so we can trade those up and get better fruit. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Next episode, I think we're going to build another vehicle. Probably have to do more grinding to get some more materials for it, but I think I definitely want a big rig and do some fruit trading. This is not a very good fruit trading vehicle. maybe for delivering fruit to the packing station, but it's definitely not going to be big enough to store a ton of different fruit crates. It's a cool vehicle for driving, though. It's definitely a good exploration vehicle, and I think it's going to be really, really good for turning in farmers. If we can put some sort of a crane system on the back to pick up the farmers, that might be a little bit better. But either way, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And while you're at it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see y'all next time.